Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dave Russell. GrowNextGen brings agriculture science to the classroom. Tune in tomorrow to hear how Tom Dyer uses GrowNextGen curriculum with his Delaware Area Career Center students. Well, to begin, Dale checks in with a report on AG Irrigation.
Joining me is Andy Farnham. He's the owner and salesman for an irrigation company, AG Irrigation. They're right here in Ohio. And Andy, give us an update. Could we have helped our position this past season if we had irrigation?
Oh, irrigation would have helped tremendously this last year, especially in those regions southwest of Columbus, up and down that area where the drought was really primarily affecting that area.
How much water does it take to have a good irrigation system to be able to use it?
There's a lot of rules of thumb, right? Everybody's got something. Corn and alfalfa are your highest water usage crops commercially grown, and they take about a quarter inch per day during their highest growing season. So, that July, August time frame, you need a quarter inch per day per acre. So that equates to 5 gallons per minute per acre, but that's on, your sandier, loamier soils. If you have clay soils that hold a little bit more water, you can be lower than that. A 100-acre system, 500 gallon a minute water source. But that doesn't necessarily have to come from a well. That can come from a pond, a stream, a ditch, a creek, all kinds of different stuff.
Well, that was my next question. Where does it come from? But by far, are most of them wells, or are they surface holdback?
In Ohio, we don't have a tremendous supply of groundwater across the state. We do have good aquifers kind of up in the northwest corner. We have a decent aquifers up and down 23 along the rivers, that area, and then around Urbana, Springfield areas. We're getting more and more using surface water, either retaining it from drainage tile or pumping it from a ditch into a holding pond and using water there, working with Ohio State on some projects like that with drainage water recycling and reuse.
Andy, is there such a thing as a calculatable ROI for an investment like this?
There is. It's very field dependent again and crop dependent. Right now, years like this where you have a dry year, on average, you're going to pay for a pivot in 5 to 7 years with current market prices. If corn goes back to $6, which who knows, right?
Right.
That you could pay for a pivot in 3 or 4 years. They're out in the field for 30, 35 years. It's a pretty good ROI once you stretch it out over the life of the pivot.
That's agirrigation.net, correct?
Yes, sir.
Andy, thanks for the update.
Thanks, Dale.
What do USDA's latest forecasts for pork production and price indicate for this year and next?
A slight reduction in pork production forecast for this year, per USDA's latest outlook.
Saw a little bit of a slowdown in fourth quarter slaughter pace.
Yet World Agricultural Outlook Board Chair Mark Jekanowski says last month's quarterly hogs and pigs report indicates for 2025
increase in farrowing intentions. So that's going to support higher production in 2025. We increased our pork production forecast by 10 million pounds, and it would be up about 570 million pounds year over year to 28.5 billion pounds of pork.
Both demand strength and price strength in the hog market support price increases in forecasted 2024 and 25 hog prices.
For 2024 at $59.80 per hundredweight. We raised that this month, 43 cents per hundredweight. We raised our 2025 hog price forecast by 50 cents per hundredweight, now at $58 per hundredweight.
I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
And American Farmland Trust has distributed over $700,000 to farmers nationwide. The markets, I'll have a look at those coming up next.
Did you know soybeans' #1 customer is animal agriculture? That includes Ohio's pig farms. Soybeans provide a blend of protein and energy to keep Ohio pig farms growing. Nationally, Ohio ranks 7th in pork production, and those pigs consume 6.3 million metric tons of soybean meal. It takes a lot of soybeans to make that kind of bacon. Soybeans feeding the industry that feeds us. Brought to you by the Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Soybeans grown in Ohio and across the heartland are meeting the feedstock demand for clean fuels. Biodiesel is a clean-burning and reliable fuel that enhances engine life, power, and mileage. Plus, this high-performance fuel works in any diesel engine without modification. With biodiesel, we fuel the economy, do good for the environment, and support soybean farmers. Learn how using biodiesel can add value to every bushel of soybeans grown at soyohio.org.
The market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. At the Board of Trade, December corn 409.5 up 4 3/4. March corn 423 1/4 up 4 1/4. November soybeans 981 up 11. January beans 989 3/4 up 7 cents. July wheat 609.5 up 1/4 cent. At the Mercantile Exchange, October cattle 187 even, down 62 cents. December hogs 78.27 up 45 cents. November feeder cattle 246.60 down $1. This is the Ohio AgNet.